Welcome to another Fantasy Goodfellas video where we're going to talk about the top 15 tight end rankings for week 6. You ready?
I'm ready.
Fantasy Goodfellas.
Boom, boom, boom. Rolling on the field.
Fantasy Goodfellas. All right, before we get started on this week's rankings, can you remind us how we did on week 5?
In week 5, if you take out Kittle, we hit on 7 of 14 tight ends, which, considering how difficult it is to predict which tight ends do well week to week, it's pretty good.
So let's get started on the top 15 tight end rankings for week 6. Richard, take it over.
And number 1, Travis Kelce at Washington.
So you like Kelce regardless of Mahomes' play?
Mahomes is playing well. The issue is the offensive line, the defense. Kansas City has a host of issues, but a quarterback like Mahomes can solve them all. And number 2, Darren Waller at Denver.
45 yards last week. He's not a number 2 or 3 week in and week out. What's going on?
Look, he's a target monster. The issue is, and we mentioned it last week, Derek Carr's inconsistency. It happened last year. Derek Carr got off to a hot start and everybody was on the Derek Carr train. Happened again this year. But Derek Carr is not that good. And number 3, Mark Andrews, home against the Chargers.
We said Andrews is Jackson's number 1 receiver. Can he be the number 1 tight end for the rest of the year?
Well, at this point, it's 1A, 1B. Don't forget Marquise Brown over there. But it looks like Lamar Jackson is passing more. He's more comfortable passing. Why not have Mark Andrews at number 3? And number 4, Mike Gesicki at Jacksonville.
What makes Gesicki a top 5? Biasm?
No, Gesicki is a talent. Gesicki is a target monster. The problem with Gesicki has been Jacoby Brissett. I think if Tua plays this week, he does well. Even if it's Brissett at Jacksonville, it's a great matchup. And number 5, Dawson Knox at Tennessee.
He has Josh Allen at quarterback. Is this why he's in the top 5?
Yeah, it's a combination. Josh Allen and good matchup this week. And number 6, Dalton Schultz at New England.
Schultz is arguably Prescott's number 1 target. Do you think Schultz can continue for the rest of the year?
I don't know if he can at this pace, but he's definitely in the top 10 tight end conversation. Absolutely. And number 7, TJ Hawkinson, home against Cincinnati.
22 yards last week, and he still has Goff. Are you out of your mind?
Goff is bad, and we've said it all year, but Hawkinson is awesome. So it kind of evens out, and if Goff just throws a couple of nice passes to him, to include a touchdown, he'll be fine. And number 8, Noah Fant, home against Las Vegas.
Here's another tight end that had only 20 yards last week. What is your ranking based on?
Just amount of targets. We know Noah Fant plays a big part in that offense. He plays a lot of snaps. He gets a lot of targets. The catches, the touchdowns, they'll come. And number 9, Tyler Higbee at the New York Giants.
He got in the end zone last week. Do you think he can continue that this week?
It's tough because he's, distant number 4 or 5 as far as target preference on that team. But Matt Stafford is so good. That offense is so good. Higbee will get scraps, which will include touchdowns. And number 10, Hunter Henry, home against the Cowboys.
So let me get this straight. The first few weeks, it was Jonnu Smith, and now it's Henry?
Well, based on last week, Henry seemed to play a bigger part in that offense, and now they play Dallas, which is susceptible against the Pats. And number 11, Jared Cook at Baltimore.
Is his ranking based on QB alone?
Pretty much. He didn't do much this last week, but I told a lot of people that the Chargers were going to put up points against the Browns. People were concerned about that defense. I was like, it's Justin Herbert. He's going to put up points. And did he? And number 12, Dallas Goedert, home against Tampa Bay.
I didn't see anything special from last week. What did you see?
He's another guy. Plays a big part in that offense. A lot of snaps. He gets targets. Jalen Hurts likes looking for his tight ends. I think Goddard scores this week. And number 13, Florida International University's Jonnu Smith, home against the Cowboys.
I don't know if this is a first, but 2 tight ends from the same team in your top 15?
Yeah, the matchup is good. The matchup is good. Mac Jones loves throwing short passes. He looks for his tight ends. I think this is a good week for both of them. And number 14, David Njoku, home against Arizona.
You don't like Baker, but I guess you think David performs well regardless?
No, Baker Mayfield, obviously that team doesn't pass much. They don't need to pass much. They shouldn't pass much with Baker Mayfield. But when they need to score, he has to pass, and they're going to need to score this week. And Jocko could have another decent week. And number 15, Zach Ertz, home against Tampa Bay.
Okay, Ertz hasn't done anything this year, and now all of a sudden he makes your top 15.
Again, I'm looking at targets. Zach Ertz has received a lot of targets. Jalen Hurts is looking for his tight ends, and they're going to have to pass a lot this week.
Thanks for coming on here and sharing your top 15 tight end rankings for week 6.
It's my pleasure. Remember, like, subscribe, leave your questions in the comments section, and we'll answer them all as quickly as we can.
Fantasy Goodfellas.
Rolling on the field.
Fantasy Goodfellas.